Newfoundland and Labrador's Premier is putting his province on the Prime Minister's radar for the next round of national interest projects.
This Prime Minister has an interest in nation building, as you've described it, and Newfoundland and Labrador wants to be part of that. We're part of.
During a meeting with Prime Minister Carney, Premier Tony Wakeham there requested the Bay du Nord project. That's an underwater oil-based oil project to be fast-tracked through the federal regulations. So what's the project and how challenging will this be? For a closer look this morning, we're joined by Warren Mabey. He's the director of Queen's University Institute for Energy and Environmental Policy. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, bring us up to speed. What is the Bay du Nord project?
So Bay du Nord is an offshore oil reserve. The proven reserve is about 1.3 billion barrels of oil. So there's a lot of oil out there under the seabed. It's about a kilometer down, and the reserve is spread over about 400 square kilometers. So it's a very large deposit of oil. It has been proven, and actually we've gone through approval stages in the past, but we've not had a partner to come forward and develop it. So this is the opportunity, I guess, to get the Canadian government involved and hopefully start to move things forward.
I understand that Ottawa first approved this project back in 2022. It was then met with delays the following year in 2023. So where does it stand right now, and then what would it take to get it going?
So where it stands right now is a little bit in limbo. There isn't actually a partner at the table who has committed to developing it. Equinor, which is the big Norwegian oil company, is the partner that we're sort of dancing with right now. They have interest. They're talking about what it would take to get going, but they've expressed a lot of concerns over the cost of developing this project, and they've expressed concerns over basically the pushback to the project. There was appeals that were introduced in 2023 by Indigenous groups claiming that there hadn't been proper consultation. There's lots of people that are very concerned about the environmental impact of developing this resource, and so the project sits in limbo, waiting basically for partners to come to the table to start it to go.
Well, we've seen similar interest happen in the western part of the country, right? With Alberta's deal, it seems to draw investors when they know that there is going to be less of a delay in getting their ROI. Shortly before the Premier's win, the province was working on a deal with Hydro-Quebec. This was actually an election issue. In terms of opportunities for revenue, how does the Quebec project and this Bay du Nord project compare?
So these are both big opportunities for Newfoundland and Labrador. The Hydro-Quebec deal will increase their revenues from basically the sale of hydro into Quebec up to about $1 billion a year. And right now it's sitting, in the 20 million sort of range. So a massive increase, excuse me, in the revenue from that resource. Bay du Nord will be bigger if it is fully developed. There's a lot of oil there. The revenues, the potential contribution to GDP would be very large.
The Prime Minister, is set to announce an energy deal with Alberta. That's coming later today, much anticipated. Interesting to note that Newfoundland Labrador is coming forward with their own big energy project. What do you think that this signals to the country and to provinces like Newfoundland Labrador, who have a vested interest in the energy sector, that the Prime Minister is willing to do deals directly province to province?
Well, I think all the provinces are looking to get something from the Prime Minister. The way that Mr. Carney seems to do business is to announce these big projects, these big nation-building projects. This would be the nation-building project that Newfoundland and Labrador could bring forward. And I think they would like to see the government, Canadian government, come in and support it the same way they seem to be supporting projects right across the country. So, I'm not surprised that they're coming to the table now. The federal government seems to be willing to enter into partnerships on these projects, and we'll have to see if the Prime Minister decides that this is one of them.
And what would it signal to Newfoundland and Labrador if this doesn't get greenlit, if the push from the Prime Minister doesn't come the way it did for Alberta?
So I'm sure it'll be very disappointing for the Premier and for many of the people in the province who are hoping to see more projects, more development, more jobs. It doesn't necessarily mean that this project would be dead and never looked at again. There is a big proven resource out there. There are companies that have, kicked the tires and that are really interested in looking at it, but they're looking for support. And it's perfectly possible that, we might come back to this in a year or 2 years. I don't think that this project will go away. It's just a question of, is it the time for the project right now?
Warren Mabey, I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.